The name of it is Mindful Creations.
Okay.
We creatively design what you have in mind.
Okay.
And we offer services, social media content mix, developing that. We also do event planning and provide, yes, yeah, all over the place.
So what kind of events? Like social, like online events?
No. We do like corporate meetings, corporate meeting planning, parties, retreats, that type of thing.
Okay. I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
I know you are. So I'm all over the place, right?
So you can do both of these things, but I wouldn't do them through the same business.
Okay.
Because they're not congruent.
Not Mindful Creations, Mindful
Mindful.
Creations.
I was like, oh, maybe her son's name is Michael.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so... Okay, so how do I want to say this? I'm trying to be nice.
No, just say it, girl, but I'm not.
So I remember once I was out networking and I met this woman and I said, oh, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm a personal trainer and I'm an event planner and I'm an author and I teach people how to write books. And when I'm not doing that, I teach yoga on every other Tuesday. And I was like, what? So when you do too many things under one umbrella, it makes it hard for you to specialize. Because see, then you're going to have to like literally show up at the event and say, who am I today? Because you can't tell them that you're both of them because they don't go together.
Okay.
So social media content management is great for this time. Event planning is great. But I would make them two different visions. Okay. Two different businesses.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I was playing off the creations.
Yeah, so the other thing you can do is you can just have different divisions of the company. But I don't want you saying... Mindful Creations, we do event planning, we do social media content management, we do. Okay. The more commas you have, the more you dilute your expertise.
Gotcha.
You don't want to be doing everything. That doesn't mean you can't have multi-brands and every brand has its own place and its own message and its own market. But the more you dilute it, people start to look, well, she can't be an expert. She's trying to be a master, a jack of all trades, right? Master of none. So we've got to make sure we tighten it up. So of these two businesses, which one do you love the most?
The social media.
Okay. And why do you love social media so much?
Because I get to interact with people.
And so do you have clients right now that you're doing social media content for?
I actually have one.
Okay.
Just got one.
And are you doing development and management of the content? Okay. And what does one invest to work with you as their social media content development and or management person?
Money-wise? Yeah. I charge $35 an hour right now.
$35 an hour?
Small nonprofit.
The person you're working with is a nonprofit?
The organization
that's doing it. Okay. So two things. First of all, we don't work by the hour because we're going to run out of hours, right? So that means we can't expand to a different level. So we need to definitely change this. And you can't, okay, so when it comes from a pricing perspective, there's really just 3 pricing strategies. There is no nonprofit pricing strategy, right? Nonprofits are really for-profit businesses in disguise. The only thing that makes them different is they have a different tax designation. They have to spend the money that comes in, or it has to be purposed to something because they can't have profit left over. Everything has to go somewhere. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you charge less. What you need to do is understand what their budget line is for, because this is still marketing, that they have to spread the word about their nonprofit for fundraising and programmatic reasons for all of their outcomes, to find out what their budget is, to what they have to spend. But you don't necessarily charge less by the hour because they're a nonprofit. Okay? I'm not saying you can't. I don't always recommend that you do that. People ask me all the time, do you have a nonprofit price? It's the same price. And I might make an adjustment based on what they have in their budget line. So if it's the end of their fiscal year and they only have $3,500 left, and I normally do $5,500 for a workshop, I might be willing to take less to get the money, but I still tell them that it was $5,500, and I'm gifting them $2,000, so I get the credit for that. I'm not making my prices different. And then what I'm also going to do is have a follow-up conversation with them to make sure that when they're making their budget for the next fiscal year, they budget more money for me. Because if the money's in the budget, they have to spend it. They can't just leave it there, right? And they can't get their reimbursements if they don't spend that money. But let's talk about charging by the hour. So how much do you personally, does Angela want to take home as her pay from these businesses?
In the first year, I would like to be around 80K.
Okay. Somebody take $80,000 and divide it by 1760 for me. I'll tell you what this means in a second.
Only 3 vacant servers. And combined between them, we probably have.
Anybody?
$45, 45 cents.
45?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we're going to times it by 3.
136.36.
Okay, so this is the Dan Kennedy. I did not make this up, but I love it. Dan Kennedy wrote a book called No BS Time Management for Entrepreneurs. In said book, he talks about this whole charging by the hour thing, which it sounds good. Well, $35 an hour, hopefully that doesn't really sound good to you because it's really not a lot. But it sounds good to charge by the hour, but eventually we're going to run out of hours, right? He also went on to say that entrepreneurs, they tend to underestimate how much they're actually working in their business. So if you know anything about payroll for working for someone else, you work 2,280 hours in a year, right? As an entrepreneur, Dan says we only actually work 1,760 hours. We have more time on our hands. We're doing less of what we need to do to actually get ahead of in our business, so that's why the number is less. We times it by 3 because the average entrepreneur is only 1/3 or 30% productive at any given time that they are working in their business. So that tells me, just based on this, if you personally want to earn $80,000, then you need to be considering, I don't like to charge by the hour, but you need to be considering that in order for you to earn $80,000 working this many hours a year, you need to be earning this much per hour. So right now you're about $100 less, right, of where you want to be, which is going to make it hard for you to be able to achieve the goal that you have for yourself. Let me also sidebar and say this. If you want to make $80,000, your business, in my opinion, you need to double it. So you can have the right team in place, you can have the right systems in place to be able to support you to earn this without working like a slave to your business. Because right now, at $35 an hour, somebody take $80,000 and divide it by 35 for me. I need to make you feel really, really bad so that you stop charging $35 an hour.
What was the number?
80,000, what is it?
$2,285.71.
$2,285.71. So that's how many hours you have to work to make this in a year. Do you want to work that hard?
No.
For them pennies?
No.
Because that's what it is.
Team, no sleep.
I need some stuff in there.
And more importantly than working by the hour, you need some packages.
Right.
No
Because
sleep.
when you have packages, you can blur your line. Nobody knows how much you really earn because it's based on the value. So a value-based package for social media, as an example, might include 1 hour strategy session with you a month where you talk about their goals and how you're going to determine which social media outlet is the best outlet for them in order to get the engagement that they want. And let's be clear, all they're going to do is get engagement. It's not going to send people through the doors, right? But it's going to give them engagement. You, in that same hour, you might talk about which content you're creating for them, right? And then you create whatever amounts of content and you get the graphic designs created of all of the different stuff. And so that might be one package where all you do is the strategy and the creation.
Okay.
And then package number 2 is the strategy, the creation, and putting it out there, the implementation for it. Okay. And then if you have a third pack, let me change that. So the first package might just be strategy. The second package might be strategy and development or creation of the content. The third package is strategy, development, and management.
Okay.
So they have 3 different ways they can play for you. Totally making numbers up, people, because I don't like to pull numbers out of the air, but just for the sake of the example. So package number 1 for you to run strategy with them might be $350.
Okay.
It's an hour of your time at $136 plus profit. Remember I said earlier, we have to be profitable on every single transaction.
Right.
My personal recommendation is that your business is running minimally at a 40% profit, but your business is ideally running at a 60% profit.
Okay.
So you want to take whatever that is and you want to add a couple of things to it. You want to add any direct costs.
Right.
You want to add any general and administrative costs and any overhead to this, and then you want to also add 40 to 60% to it to come up with something around this. Right, so that might be package number 1. Package number 2 might be $650 a month, and package number 3 might be $950 a month. giving them 3 different options. Most people will fall out here. They'll want strategy and content developed, and they might have somebody who can actually put it out there. This is where most people fall. If you do this and you set a goal to do your, you need to do 160,000. So then you need to have 20 clients, roughly 20 clients here.
Okay.
So let's say you have a conversion rate of 20%. That's like the work, like closing 1 in 5. So if I want 20 clients, that means this year I need to need to have 100 sales conversations. I take 100 and I divide it by 12, and that tells me however many, whatever that comes out, that's how many sales conversations I need to have a month to make sure I hit my 20 clients at the end of the year. So I create 160,000 and I can pay myself $80,000.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
$650 a month, right?
$650 a month.
Okay. Yeah.
So $650 a month annualized is, I don't know, whatever it comes out to. It's a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Especially if I have 20 clients.
Yeah. And you would probably be at bandwidth at that point, depending upon, because they're going to fall out in this cross section somewhere. Now this over here, you're probably not the person putting it on social media. You go get you an assistant from the Philippines that you pay $4 or $5 an hour, and they're the one who loads it up into Hootsuite or Buffer or whatever the course that it is, and then you just check on it to make sure that it's actually getting out, and you check the analytics for your clients and report that back to that.
Virtual support,
right?
And all that. Okay.
Yeah. So you would be primarily spending your time on the strategy and the content initially, and then eventually you get this going, you start hiring people, so you can spend more time in closing more clients, and your practice can get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're doing the part that you really, really love, and you have other people in place. Now you're cross-checking it, especially until you get a director of operations. You're actually making sure that it is taking place and your clients are satisfied. You're meeting with them and sharing with them the analytics and what you want to try differently next month, so they can feel really, really good about what you're doing for them in social media, but you're not the minion doing the work in the business.
Gotcha.
Okay? Do you feel like this will help you take your business to the next level? Purple hand class!